What's up, guys? So in a recent video I had mentioned that I was interested in trying some different work sharpening systems, and we're looking at two of them here. Alright, so this is going to be kind of like a, I don't know, a preview of them, my first impressions, I guess. I don't know. I just want to kind of mention these now because I'm going to be using these. I don't know how long it's going to take to actually get to use them efficiently, to eventually do videos on them and stuff, but this is kind of like heads up, these videos are coming in the future. So I got two different systems here. The first one here is their precision adjust system, and this one is a manual guide rodded system, but it's just kind of a little bit different than the other guide rods that you're going to see. Some of the classic designs for different sharpening systems. So I was kind of interested in this one. Looking at the back here, I mean, you can see it's pretty straightforward. You're going to basically lock in your knife here. You can adjust the angle by going up and down, and then you have your guided rod and your stones. And I mean, this is like very similar to what a lot of the older men and women who are used to sharpening knives might be used to. A lot of the old Lansky stuff, and just a lot of the kits on the market have been a similar style, but this is a completely different setup on how to get those angles. All right, so preset angles. It just kind of takes all the thought out of sharpening. You know what I'm saying? Just makes it easy. So, you set everything up, lock it in, and then you don't have to worry about your hand being so steady as far as like, hand sharpening. So that's gonna be really interesting. I actually picked this because a lot of you guys had mentioned it in previous videos, like a couple months back. Someone was saying how much they love theirs, and it kind of stuck in the back of my mind. But really, I wanted to also focus on their electric systems, right? So I also have the MK.2, okay? So this is basically like the little brother to the Ken Onion version, which if I really like this, I'm probably going to end up getting one of those. Maybe I'll have to trade for it or something. But that's always kind of been in the back of my mind, is the Ken Onion version of this. But this one is a little bit cheaper. It's really straightforward. As you can see here, it's basically a small belt sander. It's kind of like the other one that I showed in my April Fool's Day video. But it's pretty straightforward. You can see there's a trigger there, and once you get the belt going, there is an angle system here. So again, it doesn't really have to be any kind of too much thought in there, as long as you don't put your hand in the way of the belt or anything. It should be pretty straightforward. All right, you can see on the back here. Yeah, just kind of interesting to say the least. Some people had commented on the other video, and they said that they messed up knives with the systems that were similar to this. It's one of those things where you can, and the problem, I would see the drawback or con with an electric system is that if you do something wrong, yeah, you're going to have the ability to remove a lot of metal quickly, as opposed to, I don't know, if you screw something up on this, or even if you're hand sharpening and you just like you do a pass or two the wrong way, that's very little steel. Of course, it depends on how the grittier stones and things like that. If you use a really coarse stone, you can take a lot of metal off quickly with one or two passes. But I guess my point here is that this takes maybe a little bit more attention, just to be extra sure that you don't screw it up. But these are pretty much foolproof. You know what I mean? So we're going to go over it in the future again. Mostly the focus on the electric sharpeners are, in my opinion, for some of the cheaper knives. Although you could take a beautiful $500 knife with a premium super steel, and sharpen it with this or touch it up with this, I would think that more people than not would probably not do that, just because there is a slight fear of ruining the edge. Now, you're not going to really ruin the edge unless you do something incredibly difficult or wrong. You know what I'm saying? This is a guided system, so as long as you keep your blade up against these yellow portions here, these posts, you shouldn't have any issue. It's going to set that exact angle you need. But if you start screwing around like I was doing and just use the belt freehand, that's different. If you're not a knife maker or a professional sharpener or something, going freehand on an electric belt, a belt grinder, in this case a belt sander, I guess, yeah, you can get into some trouble really quickly. But my focus is really to just check it out for, mostly more affordable knives, okay? It's not that I'm fearful of something going wrong, and some people were talking about, you can heat the blade up too hot and change the temper and all that. I wouldn't really worry about that too much. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just one of those things. I mean, this is going to be for people who just use their knife day in and day out. They want a quick edge. They don't want to mess around. I mean, there's so many people who have different levels of interest in sharpening. Some people have beautiful knives out there and they do not want to sharpen them. They just don't care about it. It's annoying. They don't like the idea. They just can't get the hang of it. Regardless of the system, they don't like sharpening their knives. And then there's other people who have you know, amazing sharpening skills and they don't mind doing it. You know, I'm somewhere in between. You know, I can really sit down and enjoy sharpening a very high-end knife, but like when I have a cheaper knife, I just want to put an edge on it. I just want to put an edge on it. I don't want to sit there, you know, with stones and really just take my time and all stuff. It's not fun to me. When I, again, have a very high-end knife and I'm really focused on the edge and I want to make it perfect and stuff, that's different. That's its own hobby. You could sit down and just work on sharpening, but you know, a quick, dirty edge. That's what we're talking about here, but it doesn't have to be dirty. It could just be quick and efficient. So that's the idea, in my mind anyway, behind getting some kind of electrical system. So yeah, these are just the two new systems I want to try out from Worksharp. So again, it's just kind of like a heads up. Of course, you guys can leave feedback and stuff. You know, I look at comments in every video, but I'm gonna try not to focus on these comments for this video too much, just because I don't want to, like, you know, hear good and or bad experiences until I try it myself. You know, people have asked me too, like, oh, you watch all these different knife channels? No, I don't. You know, I do follow some of the you know, knife companies out there just so I can see what new stuff is coming out. But I don't watch like other knife reviews because someone might be reviewing something that I've never had before, and then I get it in the future, and then that video is kind of stuck in my head, and maybe something they pointed out is stuck in my head. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think that it might create some kind of bias towards things. If someone reviews a knife and says, oh, this is horribly uncomfortable, and then that's already in my head, and then I get the knife and I go, yeah, maybe this is uncomfortable. But you know what I mean? I don't want any like outside impact on my opinions until after the fact. Now, I will definitely watch videos, certain knife videos on knives. If I thought something was particularly uncomfortable or I didn't like it, then I'll kind of look at videos after I post mine or after I film mine and see if other people agreed. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So anyway, I mean, like I said, feel free to post your comments. After I use these for a little bit, I'll probably come back and read them anyway to get your opinions on it. Because I'm curious to see the people who have these, what you thought of yours. But anyway, just want to do a little bit more sharpening stuff. I do a lot of sharpening behind the scenes. You know, I didn't make a great number of sharpening videos, you know, in my YouTube career. I mean, sharpening is obviously a big part of owning a knife. You want to maintain it, and that's a very important thing. There's a lot of technical aspects to it as far as like hand sharpening, and it is kind of boring to some people anyway. But systems like this, you don't need to know all that much about it. As long as you get familiarized with the specific system, you can use it efficiently, and it does help guide you so that you don't have to have those skills. This is taking the skill out of it, and in this case, the time out of it, and just giving you a sharp edge quick. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. So we're gonna see. I'll check them out and give you my opinions down the road, but just want to give you a heads up on that. So these will be coming in the future. So that's all. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know down in the comment section, if you sharpen knives, do you hand sharpen on stones, old school, just like your grandpa did? Or do you use some kind of a pre-angle system, a guided system that's actually going to just take all the work out of it for you? You hook it all up, set it all up, and then that's it. Just do a couple strokes here and there, but it's keeping that consistent angle for you. It does make life a lot easier. Like I said, not everyone's at the sharpening, but I'm just curious how many people actually hand sharpen and how many people use systems like these. So that's all. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.